You're tuned in to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, recapping the night that was in the world of sports.
That's not to say that they don't respect the run game that you have, but you're talking about one quarterback leading the conference in passing so far this year. And remember, he didn't start the first game.
Right.
Still played a lot, though.
And also bringing some humor to your day.
I just don't want to disappoint you. As much as I disappoint you, I don't want to disappoint you in some things that you expect from me.
Hear the show live weekday mornings at 6 on Double T 97.3 or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Thank you for being with us this morning on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Looks like you're going to have a quarterback in the transfer portal. I don't know if he's technically in yet. All reports are that he is going to or has entered the transfer portal. There's one reason why Donovan Smith may not have entered that in, and I don't know if finances mean anything to him or not. I'm sure that they do, but for players that enter the transfer portal before December 13th, which is the last day of fall examinations, according to the AJ, they would give up almost $3,000 in money, $2,990 to be exact.
Well, that would be silly of him to enter the portal.
This close to it.
This close to that.
Yeah. So technically, he may not be in it, but he has to be a member of the university or, not in the portal through December the 13th, or he gives up almost $3,000. According to this article in the AJ, Tech will pay $1,990 per semester to athletes who are academically eligible, on course to graduate on schedule, not having their names in the portal, and in good standing with their teams at the end of the semester. I think this is all athletes, Jamie. I'm not certain on that, but I think it is. Then there's additional money that's paid based on your grade point, average increments, performing 5 hours of community service, participating in name, image, and likeness education, community service, and personal and career development training. Okay, so technically speaking, he may be still in it. He would have 2 years left. Donovan Smith would passing for 1,181 yards this year, 7 touchdowns, and this is in 2021. This year, he had 1,505 yards and 12 touchdowns. And he ran for 3 as well, and helped you beat Houston in double overtime. Helped you beat Texas, obviously, in overtime, and then was productive in the Oklahoma game, catching a touchdown pass and running for 1.
Well, he was productive in a lot of other games.
Sure,
the way they were using him.
Sure.
I mean, he was used sparingly, but he was still scoring for you and picking up first downs and all that good stuff.
So I guess yesterday, we speculate an awful lot, but we read the tea leaves correctly yesterday.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Although none of us should be naive in thinking that, all 3 of these guys were going to stay, especially when you look at the transfer portal and the number of guys who are transferring. And I don't know that there's necessarily a spot for everybody, but they sure feel like there is, right? If you're putting yourself in the transfer portal, you're basically saying to your current university, hopefully you're saying, hey, I appreciate the opportunity. I feel like there's a better opportunity for me somewhere else. I'm going to risk it and see if there is. But not everybody's going to find necessarily the same spot, same landing
Some
place.
of it's all very confusing to me. I mean, Donovan Smith makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but like the NC State quarterback, 6 ACC starting quarterbacks in the portal. Starting quarterbacks, 6 of them. I mean, the NC State quarterback, for example, injured this year after playing us, got injured. He was the conference preseason offensive player of the year. Obviously, he didn't win that because he missed most of the season. But that's a guy that's been there, his whole career, has been a star for them. Obviously, coming back, if he's healthy, he's the guy. But he said, I mean, does he really have a better opportunity somewhere else? Or does he just want something different?
That's a great question.
I mean, I have a hard time thinking he has a better opportunity. I mean, he's their guy.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think they would love to have him back.
Sure. Heck, there's one in the Big 12 with Spencer Sanders.
Yeah. I'd say that one. The NC State one, I just don't understand. Spencer Sanders, I don't know. Maybe they just, maybe Spencer Sanders feels like, he and Gundy aren't on the same page. I guess that could be the same thing in NC State.
Well, he's been there 5 years. I mean, it's like, that's his school. That's his legacy. And
he would be the starting quarterback there again next year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is he really going to get a better opportunity somewhere else?
And,
at a place where he already knows the offense and the coaches know him and he knows them. And I mean,
he knows the best place for pizza and burritos and, where to get a good cold beer, where to take his girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. All those things.
I really feel like, I know some people laugh at me about this, but I just really feel like the social media aspect of it is part of it now. And that if I go somewhere and I'm there for 4 years, nobody ever hears my name. I'm not trending. Nobody ever is yearning for me on social media. Come play for us, and nobody's talking about me. I just go there and I play. I don't get any. Nobody's promoting me. Nobody's talking about me. I don't have two different fan bases begging me to come play for them. I'm just a guy that goes and plays at one school, and I think it's like the cool thing to do now, right? If you don't transfer at least once, you're like forgotten. The only time we heard about you is when we were recruiting you to come here, and then you just go away.
That may be part of it. I also think that
I don't think it's the only thing.
I think there's also the grass is greener, which we all suffer from, in different stages of life. You may be at a job and you may be going, the guy across the street or, down the street or, in another town, it's got a better opportunity for you. And then you go and sometimes it is. And then you go and sometimes you go, man, that place I was working for, that was a pretty good place. They really took care of me. They let me slide out a little early when my kid had, a play or a basketball game or whatever. I don't know. Somebody says this, these quarterbacks in the portal, it's all about the Benjamins. They are testing free agency after seeing some of these quarterbacks get paid. Most of these guys aren't NFL guys. I think that's part of it too.
I think 100% accurate. Yep. I think that's very fair. The NIL part of this is massive. And again, it feels like to me the world of college football and college sports could have handled the transfer portal and they could have handled the NIL, but them coming in both together and having both of them, and now you have NILs saying to guys, hey, come transfer over here because we'll get you paid more. It's the NILs are pulling guys to transfer more.
And the transfer portal was technically first, and then the NIL stuff. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it was bang bang.
Yeah.
And so now what you have, and look, let's not be naive. I'm sure that there's plenty of whispering of, recruiting of these guys if you learn that they're disgruntled, and gals too. Because it could be the same in whether it's, basketball or other sports.
I don't even think you have to learn if they're disgruntled.
You just whisper in their ear, "Hey,
I think
you're going to make more money here." This question: do y'all think Coach Joey McGuire knew Donovan Smith was entering the portal before he was interviewed Sunday night about the bowl game? Yes. I do.
Yes.
I think it's curious he talked about Shuck and Morton and didn't mention Smith at all. Right? No, we talked about this yesterday. That was a.
I don't think you have to be curious anymore.
No.
I think it was obvious that's why he didn't get brought up.
He was not asked about Donovan Smith. He was asked about Tyler Shuck, and he said the reason Shuck was going to be the starter was because of how he played and that Baron Morton was still not 100%. But in every other setting, in every other time, he has mentioned all three, and Sunday night he did not. So, yeah, he knew. Of course he knew. He's not obligated to tell anybody because nobody asked him that question. So... But he knew for without a doubt.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, getting you ready for today's sports day.
3 of the first 4 games have been at home, so at some point in time you're going to have to venture outside the 806, so that'll start this week.
While having a little fun along the way.
Always good if you can blame it on somebody else, right?
Yeah, sure.
Especially some media guy.
Sure. Right, some media guy.
Catch the show live weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
Time for this day in sports history. Today is 6 December 2022. Here's Jeff McGuire.
1925, a record 73,000 people pay to watch the Chicago Bears beat the New York Giants 19-7. That's a bunch of people that early.
No doubt.
That's a bunch of people today. 1960, Major League Baseball, American League grants the American entertainer and businessman Gene Autry a franchise. It would be the Los Angeles Angels.
Then he'd make them the California Angels, and then all that. Gene Autry, the singing cowboy. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
1961, the 27th Heisman Trophy is awarded to Ernie Davis of Syracuse.
The Cuse.
First African-American to win the award. Hit the fast-forward button to 1986. The 52nd Heisman Trophy is awarded to Vinny Testaverde from Miami, Florida.
He could sling it, couldn't he?
A little bit.
So could his son.
A little bit.
Who was a Red Raider.
For a little bit.
For a little bit.
1988, Milwaukee Bucks win their 1,000th NBA game. Second fastest franchise to that mark.
I would not have guessed that.
I wouldn't either. Do you have who was the fastest?
Without looking, I'm guessing it's Boston.
Okay.
Okay. I was going to go with the Lakers, but the Lakers were Minneapolis for a while, so does that count?
I would imagine that counts, but I would still say Boston would have been first. 1992, really good day if you lived in San Francisco, because in the afternoon, Giants sign a record $43 million contract with Barry Bonds from the Pittsburgh Pirates, so he would then play for them. And then that night, the San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Jerry Rice catches an NFL record 101st touchdown in a 27-3 victory over the Miami Dolphins at Candlestick Park. And Chuck, I'm apologizing to you for this. Your home state loses to Oklahoma in the 13th Big 12 championship game in 2008.
I'm fine with that.
And then they lost
You talking about Missouri?
to Alabama
Yeah.
in the SEC championship game in 2014.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's never good when your home state loses. It is National Gazpacho Day. It's National Microwave Oven Day.
Okay.
And one that I'm completely confused by. National Cook for Christmas Day.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you're getting ahead of it.
It's the 6th. There's
Maybe
nothing you're cooking
like
today
the-
that I want to eat on the 25th.
Maybe the hard candy, right? Fudge or something like that.
There's nothing that I couldn't make enough fudge
I
to
think
have
if you
it be.
make one of those fruit cakes that people mail around this time of year, I don't even actually know if they do mail them around. It's just kind of like a thing.
Today would be a good day to make it.
I think those will still be
Yeah.
okay by Christmas.
My dad actually likes fruitcake.
Really?
Believe it or not.
Okay.
So send him all your fruitcakes to him, and he will enjoy all of them. Happy birthday. Johnny Manziel is 30, and Sarah Rafferty is 50. And on this day in 1941, 600 miles northwest of Hawaii, Admiral Yamamoto, commander of the Japanese fleet, announces to his men, the rise or fall of the empire depends upon this battle. Everyone will do his duty with the utmost efforts. Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, U.S. territory was their target.
Tora, Tora, Tora.
Hoping to catch the U.S. fleet anchored in the port. Their spies in Hawaii reported that Sunday would be a good day to attack. And that is this day in sports history.
All right, this day in sports history. I've got one more birthday for you. I do not know this man. I'm not a fan of his. I don't dislike him. He sometimes comes off, I think, as a little almost angry, but on TV. But he's a televangelist, and I didn't know this. You see him occasionally, or probably have heard of him. Born and raised in Lubbock, Texas, 86 years ago today, the televangelist, musician, and author Kenneth Copeland. Born in Lubbock. Okay.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, that does not surprise me. But I mean, he's one of those guys you see on the Sunday morning channels, speaking it, delivering it,
That guy.
and asking for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked his picture up and I'm like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that guy.
Yeah, he kind of looks like the old Purdue Boilermaker coach,
Gene Katie?
Gene Katie. Yeah. See a little Gene Katie in him, Jeff? Maybe just a little, just a skosh. All right, 6:52 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to WT973.com for that, or the mobile app. I don't know if you saw this or not, but Seth Luttrell, who spent some time on the Mike Leach staff here in Lubbock, and then went on to other places, including North Carolina and North Texas, is not going to return to the Mean Green. He was a guy...
And they were in their conference championship game.
Yeah, right. He took them to like 6 bowl games. I think they just felt like he had gone about as far as he could go. So, for him, there's only 3 coaches in the history of North Texas to leave with a 500 or better record. Those 3 include Seth Luttrell. The other 2 are in the College Football Hall of Fame. Hayden Fry and former Tech coach Jerry Moore, who had obviously his greatest success at Appalachian State.
Mm-hmm.
But Seth Luttrell took him to 6 bowl games in 7 years and 2 trips to the Conference USA Championship game. He was a guy that was a hot coach, several years ago, and a lot of people thought that he was going to take the K-State job at one point in time, but that was not the case. So he will be. They're looking for a new head football coach. Somebody says this: you guys should look up the inventor of the microwave. Great story of overcoming. Okay, I'll look that up. This with regard to Kenneth Copeland. Is he related to former LCU head basketball coach John Copeland? I don't know, but that'd be a good thing to find out. And then this guy says, I thought he always looked like Andy Griffith.
Yeah, I get that one more.
Yeah,
I get the Andy Griffith more.
Sheriff of Mayberry. Yeah, there's probably some truth to that. Big fan of Andy Griffith?
I'm not a hater. But
Okay.
I'm not.
Wasn't
it's not something I watch.
Point in television for you? Okay.
No.
Getting your sports day started the right way. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, breaking down the biggest games.
If Texas Tech does not win the Big 12 football conference, who are you rooting for to win the conference if Tech does not win it this year?
Well, busting some chops along the way.
I hold back on sending you stuff. I mean, I'm very, very, very judicious.
We spend 3 hours a day, 5 days a week
I know.
together. Why would
Yeah.
we need to communicate during the weekends?
Right, we
Save
don't.
it for the show.
We do. We save it for the show.
Tune into the Morning Drive live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
Thank you for being with us with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. It's the Christmas shopping season. Are you shopped out yet? You started yet?
I bought
You bought your gift yet that you'll give to the wife to wrap under your tree?
I bought presents for our company Christmas party.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Presents. I thought it was just a present.
Mine is multiple pieces in my present. If you get a present, if you get mine, there's 2 things in there.
2 things in there. Mm-hmm. Okay. The white elephant gift exchange that we're gonna do. Mm-hmm. Okay. Jeff McGuire,
It's a Chiefs visor.
Is it?
It's a
I've got
Chiefs
one.
visor. Yeah.
Okay. If I don't get it, I'll be okay.
You never know. Maybe
Yeah, I've
another
only got like 7 or 8.
one might get a hole in
hats.
it. Oh wait, it already has a hole in it. But
Right. It's got a big hole in it.
I've done some shopping and already screwed up one of them.
that's fun.
My sister wanted a wireless keyboard for her home computer and her workstation kind of thing.
Right.
And her favorite color is purple. So I went looking for a purple keyboard for my wireless keyboard for my sister, and I don't know if you guys know what a mechanical keyboard is.
No.
It's a really fancy keyboard, basically, but all the keys are like capped. Like you can change the color of those caps, so you can have them fit whatever theme you want for a gaming rig. I got my sister the caps for a keyboard and not the keyboard itself. So,
You gonna send that back?
No, I might buy the keyboard to go with those caps and go that way with it, so she gets the keyboard she needs, and she already has the caps. But yeah, she and I both feel kind of dumb about it because
So you've told her already?
She's already gotten it. We didn't find out she got it and what it was until she got it. She went, I think we made a boo-boo. Then she sent me a picture and I went, yep, that's a boo-boo.
You realize Christmas isn't for another...
My sister's birthday is in November, so we kind of do a double gift.
I got you.
I don't know about you, but I think that sounded like a very McGuire story.
It does, very much so, yeah. Very, very much so. Sounds
Not
like...
just that, not that they messed up on it. I mean, we've all got a gift that we thought, but
Sure.
it was the comments between the two of them that sounded very McGuire-esque.
Well, we come by it honestly.
Yeah,
Combined, honestly.
I'm
yeah.
guessing she has a very similar personality as you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
God.
But your dad, no?
Oh, no, same personality. Yeah.
Same, really? Okay.
Cookie cutter, stamp. Yeah,
And what about Papa McGuire? Have you gotten his yet? Does he have his yet too?
No, he does not.
Okay.
The problem with my father, I don't want to just get him a nice bottle of the Gentleman. Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to get him that, and he's always appreciative of it. That's what he prefers to drink. But there's got to be something else we can do.
Sure.
He's also really hard to shop for.
What a picture of you and him.
That would require both of us sitting still long enough with each other to take said picture. My dad's also
Be a blur because their mouths would be talking.
No, we're not in the same room.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute here.
You throwing a flag on that one?
I'm just like, it feels like that's coming from somebody who shouldn't be throwing that shot.
Oh yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
It's a pot calling the kettle black. Yeah.
No, but us being in the
doubt.
same room together to take the picture would be hard.
Gotcha.
And he's also one of those guys that if he wants something, he goes and buys it. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter if his birthday or Christmas is next week. And someone says, hey, this would be a really great gift. Oh, it'd be a really great gift to have now. And that's kind of how he operates.
7:19 this morning here on the morning drive. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. No controversy at all. Shuck won the last three and earned the start. Even if Barron is 100% on bowl day, he is QB2 that day, no doubt. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Do you think the jockeying and misinformation regarding quarterbacks internally and externally will cause trust issues with future quarterbacks and otherwise? I don't know what the communication was like internally because we're not in the room. Okay? So it may be been a completely different message internally than externally. I think that probably moving forward, I'm sure they'll look at this and go, there's things that we could have handled, we could have done differently.
I think all coaching staffs probably think that.
Yeah.
None of them expect to be perfect.
I think they probably said, we did this about as well as we could. Maybe we could have done a better job. So
I don't know. I mean, what changes? I mean, at the end of the day, Donovan Smith's going to realize he's QB3.
Mm-hmm. Then he's going to leave.
Yeah, he's going to leave.
Yeah, he's going to leave.
Or even if he's QB2, he might still be leaving. So I don't know that anything they did, hurt the possibility of all three guys staying.
But let me ask you this: if they'd have said, because he was asked, I think I asked the question at the end of the spring workouts, or even at the start of the fall workouts, that Tyler Shuck was heads and shoulders above everybody else. Do you think he would have lost a quarterback in August?
No.
What if you'd said that in March? Probably. Or April?
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Mark wants to know if Donovan's going to the bowl game. I'm going to assume not. I'm going to assume not, but we'll see. They did say that all the quarterbacks going to play, and they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah. in bits and pieces. There's no question. 7:21. All right, piece of basketball news. And I was listening to Red Raider basketball with Mark Adams last night on my way home. And Jeff Haxton asked him about Fardaz Amack. And he said that he would get the cast removed within the next week or so. And then they would take a picture of it and begin rehab. And that hopefully he would be ready by January 1.
Awesome news.
So that is.
Awesome news.
That is awesome news. And I've said this before. My understanding is that they've been taking that cast off for him to do some rehab work. So it's not just been a cast that's been on for X number of weeks or even months. So it's not like it's been just totally frozen in that cast. And I don't know how much movement has taken place or what, but I'm going to assume that they've massaged it or he's tried to move it around or he's swam with it or he's tried to get some kind of movement with it. But clearly there's going to be some atrophy and there's going to be some time for him to rehab. But he's been shooting the basketball and Hax was talking about how he's on his little bicycle thing. He's got the knee deal with the truck, and he's like out there shooting threes.
Knee deal with the truck.
With the two wheels,
Truck.
It's like a knee truck or whatever. Scooter. Maybe better way to call it. I can draw it for you. Your little handle.
Oh, man.
Your little handle. Get the two wheels. Kind of looks like a truck. You got the.
It looks like a scooter.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a 6-foot bed. It can't be a truck.
You got that 7-foot guy there, and then he's. And I'm going to show you the. I'm going to show you the picture. See there, isn't that a good looking picture of Fardaz on his little scooter thing, and then shooting baskets.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it'd be great if you could have him back by Iowa State.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah.
I don't know how realistic that is. Don't know the severity of the injury. Obviously, it's been severe enough that he's been out for quite some time. So hopefully he's able to get that going. For the Lady Raiders, Katie Farrell, who had surgery on her hand, is expected to play today.
That's good news.
So, the thing is that she had a little contact. I think in practice yesterday, Coach Gerlich saying she went down to the floor and she was like But I mean, that's Katie Farrell. I mean, she is a physical, aggressive player. And for the team that they're playing today in Sam Houston State, they're going to be aggressive. This is a team that averages 45 rebounds a game. It's like the fourth leading rebounding team in the country. So they're going to fight inside. They're going to armbar you. They're going to try to block out. Try to get a lot of second chance points. So you need somebody like Katie Farrell in there today to help with that.
You're listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3, recapping the night that was in the world of sports.
A little bit later on tonight, we'll have the Astros and the Diamondbacks. That'll be at 8. And then the Rangers playing at Seattle tonight.
And also bringing some humor to your day.
Was it pretty big?
Yeah. I mean,
it's impressive?
Yeah.
Was it fascinating?
I thought it was fascinating. It kind of smelled, but I mean.
Hear the show live weekday mornings at 6 on Double T 97.3 or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
All right, Chuck and Jeff, here's my question for you today. You know how sometimes we'll talk about a team and maybe you lose, maybe you win, whatever, but you would say, we lost this one, but I bet if we played 10 times, we'd win 7 of those games.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
We've said that before.
Yeah,
We'd win 9 of that.
Yeah.
But we lost this one. Okay.
Right.
If you look back at the 2022 Red Raider football season, what is the one game you'd like a redo on? Feeling like if we played it again, I think the Red Raiders would have a good chance to win it.
I'd like a redo on K-State, even if it's in Manhattan. You win that game and you're playing for a Big 12 championship. You lost 37-28. I'd like to go back to the moment where Trey Wolf is going to kick a field goal and just say, "Hey, let's
make this.
Let's make this and see what happens."
Oklahoma State. I know it doesn't give you what the Kansas State game does, but for how they finished the season versus how you finished the season, I would love to play that game again.
That was my other game that I was contemplating. But yeah.
Okay, so I don't think NC State or TCU are teams that I look at and say, unless we were playing the NC State towards the end of the season that didn't have their quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't look at those games and feel like you should have won those games. Obviously, we had a chance in the TCU game. We battled in that game and played pretty well for a while. But I think ultimately TCU is a better football team than Texas Tech.
Okay.
Same thing with NC State. So I'm with you guys and feeling like it's you have Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and Baylor. I mean, you just got so dominated by Baylor that day. But it's also hard to look at them and see where they finished and how they played after they played the Red Raiders and feel like, man, you were you quite possibly were the better team. Mm-hmm. You just didn't play that well that day. But I think ultimately my answer is Oklahoma State as well, and I think Chuck's answer is a good one because of what it would mean. Obviously, the fact that if you had beaten Kansas State, you have that win. Kansas State takes an L instead of a W, and you're playing in the Big 12 championship. That would have been pretty cool. But I feel like Oklahoma State, who Oklahoma State truly was, and what they turned out to be, would be a much more beatable team. I think Kansas State turned out to be a really good football team. Oklahoma State turned out to be not the same. And it feels like if we had played Oklahoma State towards the end of the season, we'd have had a better shot at it. So I think I'm going to agree with Jeff and feel like if in that situation, in that scenario that I threw at you guys, if we played Oklahoma State 10 times, that we would get the better of them more than half of the time. And again, that was a game where it just felt like again, I'm not guaranteeing it,
mm-hmm.
but if Baron Morton doesn't get hurt, it looked like felt like your offense was clicking and you were doing great things and you had a great show.
Sure. No, I think that's very fair.
Now let's reverse this for a second. How many teams in the Big 12 do you think would love to play Tech again?
Texas sure would.
That is 100% fair.
Houston sure would too.
Yeah, probably Oklahoma.
I don't know that Oklahoma would. I would put Iowa State ahead of Oklahoma on that list.
Okay, I all of the above so far for me.
See, I don't know that Houston would want to play Tech again just because they want to play Houston.
I mean, Houston controlled most of the game.
Should have won that game. I mean, Dana basically gave that game away. His
they
coaching.
Controlled that game. Yeah.
I mean, they certainly had opportunities to win that game in regulation and did not.
We just kept
man, how much different is our season if you don't win that game?
You're 6-6.
Are you?
Well, if everything else stayed the same.
You don't know.
Why no? I don't know.
Maybe it motivates us so much we never lose again.
Maybe so.
Maybe we were 11-1.
Maybe so.
Jamie, whatever you're drinking over there, you need to share.
Yeah.
But
you can't be certain either way.
No, you can't. No, you can't. But I think it's fair to say that Houston would like to play us again. Texas would like to play us again. Oklahoma would like to play us again. Somebody brings up the Tyree Wilson face mask penalty. Well, if you're gonna talk about that, then you have to talk about the Nehemiah Martinez play where it looked like that pass should have been called incomplete. Wasn't it Nehemiah? Wasn't there was a play in there that we talked about that was kind of offsetting where we get the call on the face mask and then there was that we got a no call or there wasn't a call made if they'd have reviewed it. That ended up, I think it was a Nehemiah Martinez catch that ended up culminating in a touchdown. That if that play was done over, there would have either been a penalty on that play or an incomplete pass on that play. Because we talked about it at the time going, well, if you're going to complain about the Tyree Wilson face mask, then you've got to look at this play too that we got a break on.
I do not remember that play. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I do not remember what you are speaking of. And if you want to get into the hey, sometimes you get the good calls and sometimes you get the bad calls, don't do it about the TCU game because we got 3 really bad ones that went against us that were massive.
Okay.
That's not a game where you say that.
Okay. Well, I just...
but you're right that sometimes you get calls and sometimes you for you and sometimes you get them against you. But, man, we got a lot of them against us after the TCU.
Yeah. No,
at the TCU. That's not the game to bring that up.
I have to go back through my notes. I just remember there was a play in there going, okay, Do
you remember it, Jeff?
See, what I remember our conversation about the TCU game was, while it was a phantom face mask call, watching it live, we all thought it was a face mask.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a situation where that wasn't a face mask.
The ones that angered me more were the Miles Price pass interference call.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Where he almost caught it and he didn't, and then they just decided since he almost caught it, we won't throw a flag.
Yeah.
Even though clearly he had been interfered with, and then there was a pass interference in the end zone that was called. That was
not pass interference.
Well, it just if you're gonna not call Miles, how are you gonna call that?
They had given, this is how we're calling it, and now we're gonna call it like this now.
And so again, the Tyree Wilson clearly wrong, but in real time we all thought we saw it too.
Yeah. Broadcasting 101. This from the School of Journalism at Texas Tech. You got to remember what you're talking about if you're going to play devil's advocate, Chuck. Yes, you're exactly right.
That hasn't been the history of this show. It's much more fun when we don't know what we're talking about.
Not always fair, not usually accurate. That's who we are.
Just try to be entertaining. Just try.
Your morning blend of sports.
K-State is coming off a big win over Oklahoma. Of course, the Red Raiders off their 37-34 overtime win over number 22 Texas.
And humor.
Sure to tell them that. You suggested that. And, of course, that got a big laugh.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Thank you for being with us with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Coming up at 9, it's The End of the Bench, starring Choice Woodman and Jeff Haxton. You'll get some afternoon activity from Tech Talk today with Aaron Dickens and Dr. Mike Gustafson. And then sandwiched in between all that is Lady Raider basketball. They take on Sam Houston State today. We'll have it for you on 100.7 The Score at 11, along with 107.7 Yes FM. That'll be at 11. The tip time is 11:30. And just a reminder, if you're going to the game, know that there's going to be 10,000 kids there. It's going to be awesome. Going to be a great environment, but a lot of yellow dogs. And so they want you to park on the north end, even if you've got a west side parking pass. So just little man helping man there. All right. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I used to work for a large ranch. I rode in helicopters 6 mornings a week during spring and fall roundup. We herded cattle into 100-acre traps for cowboys. Next day, cowboys worked cattle in lots. Quite a bit of experience flying like quarter horse heads cows. Don't eat before work. Okay. Okay.
Sounds like a cool job.
Yeah. Things like this OBJ stuff is what makes pro football seem like a circus. I can't help but wonder how college athletes are affected by such nonsense and where college sports are headed. Washed up guy.
Agree with everything you said, washed up guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a circus. Bobby Hot Dog, sounds like Chuck might be angling for a timeshare opportunity with Jerry's yacht.
Well.
This, from maybe somebody that's got some experience in this. A helicopter in trouble has the glide capability of a falling rock.
That's fun.
Robert says, don't use OBJ until the playoffs. He attracts attention from other players. Maybe positively and negatively. So I don't know.
Well, you'd like to think it would open things up.
Yeah, right.
For other receivers or the run game, or tight end, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think all that is. I think that all that is fair. So we shall see how all this transpires. With it does seem like they're destined for each other, doesn't it? The Cowboys and Odell Beckham Jr.
It feels like the perfect fit.
That was Cowboy fan Jeff McGuire.
I just anywhere but Buffalo. I don't care. I don't care if he signs with the Giants. I don't care if he signs with the Cowboys. Who's the other team? Then there one more.
Those are the three right now.
I don't care. You know what? I'd prefer he sign with the Giants. Because I don't want him on the Bills, and if he's on the Cowboys, then we're going to have to talk about him.
Okay.
And it feels like one member of this crew really enjoys talking about OBJ.
Well, I think
He's
people
a
are
hot topic right now. There's no
I
question.
think people are fascinated by that, topic.
Fascinated.
Fascinated.
When you think of the people, are they in these two rooms?
I think the people in other rooms. No,
but not these two, right?
I think you are fascinated in the wrong way.
What do you think, Cowboy fan? Do you think if you
I think they should sign him. What the hell?
I think the fans
You're
are
not
split.
a Cowboys fan.
I think
Yes,
the
I'm a
Cowboys fans are
Cowboys fan.
split.
Cowboys fans. Okay, so you want the Chiefs to sign him?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't think he's a fit there.
Yeah. Do you think Cowboys fans, true Cowboys fans, who that is their number one team, what percentage do you think want the Cowboys to sign him?
I think 75%.
I would go above 50%. I might go that high. I probably would be a little bit lower, but I think it's above 50%. I think I was in my mind at like 70%.
Okay.
I think I would go 60-40, but mainly because I'm in the 40 and I want there to be more of us.
So we're all about the same. Then,
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So.
But I am definitely.
But I
in
think
the
there are
40.
plenty of Cowboys fans that are like, no.
Yeah. Somebody says this. Nah, I'm a Cowboys fan and I'm out. The helicopter guy says we check the Jesus nut every day. I don't know what the Jesus nut is on a helicopter, but they checked it every day. Okay.
I don't know what that means. It's probably not what we think.
I'm guessing. I think it's the thing that makes sure the blades are still working.
Oh.
But that's a guess. That's a complete guess. I'm trying to use some context clues here.
Okay. Context clues. That'd be important. 8:20 this morning here on the morning drive. One Big 12 basketball game last night. Iowa State in the Big East, Big 12 or Big 12 Big East battle. Number 23 Iowa State beat St. John's 71-60. I thought that thing was over with.
I did too.
Oh wait, that was Monday. That was Sunday. I'm sorry, that was Sunday. That was Sunday. I think that's the last.
Okay.
There were no Big 12 games last night.
Nope.
Tonight in the Big 12, you got number 17 Illinois at number 2 Texas in the Jimmy V Classic. Mm-hmm. Number 12 Baylor plays host to Tarleton. You know who that is, right? It's Billy Clyde's team.
Yeah.
Billy Clyde.
Okay.
Should text him and ask him what he thinks about Josh.
Jacob DeGrom.
Jacob DeGrom. Yeah, he probably loves that signing. Mm-hmm. Wonder if your boy's going to sign anytime soon.
Brian Cashman said they're not going to push Aaron Judge.
Kobe says, ironic that Kobe would be commenting on the helicopter. It's the nut that holds the blades on. Okay. Jackson State plays at number 24 TCU. The Kangaroos of UMKC, now known as Kansas City, play at Oklahoma. Abilene Christian, pair of purple teams, playing at K-State. Okay. And Sam Houston State plays at Oklahoma State. Pair of orange teams. Yeah,
Both
orange team.
purple and both Wildcats, right?
Abilene Christian?
Aren't they Wildcats also?
Yeah. Abilene Christian, K-State, Wildcats at K-State. K-State's favored by 13.
They should just have one set of cheerleaders just to save money.
Sure. Sam Houston State Bearcats, 7-1, playing at Oklahoma State. That's Bearcats and Cowboys, but they're both orange. You've got Kangaroos and Sooners playing. And you got TCU should have played Tarleton because then you would have had a purple team against a purple team. Jackson State is 1-6 in their matchup against number 24 ranked TCU. Okay. So there you go.
Is Coach Prime's daughter leaving Jackson State's team now?
I wondered about that.
His son surely is coming with him, right?
Well, he's already said that.
Yeah.
He introduced him at his press conference. Hey, here's your quarterback right here. I mean, remember, he told everybody he's bringing luggage with him.
I know.
That's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I don't know that I've rooted for something to fail as hard as I'm going to root for that to fail.
That to fail? It feels like it's going to be, it is truly one of those things where Dion at Colorado, it's either going to be awesome or it's going to be awful.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he can recruit there. Maybe Power 5 conference and Deion Sanders and how the kids are into his style. Maybe it'll work great.
See, I don't think there's, in my mind, I don't think there's any question that he can recruit and attract players. The question is this: will he surround himself with coaches that will actually coach and help him develop those players? Because the level of competition is going to be substantially different than what it was at Jackson State.
No question.
So if he can get himself like good random coaches around him, I think he's got a shot. Because he's in Colorado. I mean, they lag behind in facilities. They lag behind in NIL money.
Supposedly that's changing, though.
But
and transfers.
If you're into this, they got the wacky tobacco on their side. So I don't know how that plays out there, but maybe it does. Maybe that helps them.
You've been listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3. For more from Lubbock Sports Station, go to doublet973.com.